Hey guys, Veebat here with another V-Plays, taking a look at the F2G Super Corsair. So the Corsair line, there are three different Corsairs you're going to run into throughout your time grinding up this line. And I use the term grinding loosely because I really enjoyed going down the Corsair line. So what can you expect going down this route? Well, you get cannons. You are the American cannon fighter. You're going to have a serious bite to the aircraft. And a lot of the Corsairs they're all going to fly pretty much the same. You got the F4U1 at tier 6, the F4U4 at tier 7, and then finally the F2G Super Corsair at tier 8. What's the major difference between this aircraft and the others? Well, for the most part, they fly the same. But the other major change is that you're going to get the ability to carry not only rockets, but also bombs. You had to choose which one you wanted when you went down this line initially, but now you get to carry both. And that bomb that you carry is a 1,600-pound bomb. It is the biggest bomb in the game, and it really does put a heavy hurt on the enemy ground sites. Just that blast radius is huge. It's a 9,000 damage bomb that has a 294-foot blast radius. Actually, I think it's 394. We'll check it after the fact, but man, it is awesome, and it's actually really good for bombing low altitude ground attackers, which is good because this aircraft is going to essentially be operating at lower altitudes. Its max altitude or optimum altitude is going to be 4,500 feet. So as a result, you're going to spend a lot of your time being a lot lower. It's not really good at climbing up and getting things because it's going to put it outside of its envelope. The aircraft also plays a lot like an energy fighter. It has an 11-second turn time, which is nothing to write home about. It's kind of similar to the way the Mustang performs with its 10-second turn time. It's not nearly as fast, but as you can see, it's still a very fast multi-role fighter. And compared to a lot of the other light fighters, especially the Japanese, you're going to be able to outpace them in a lot of cases. So you're going to have to be playing a game of rock, paper, scissors. And what do I mean by that? You have to figure out who you can maneuver against. Who is going to be the guy who's going to be able to turn on you and be able to get you roped into a turn and burn fight that you're going to lose, and which aircraft can you fly against and get some separation and re-engage at your leisure. And that's the way the Mustang plays. So you find yourself running into those situations a lot, but you're not going to be able to outrun every fighter. You're not going to be able to outrun every multi-role, so you're going to have to figure out what enemies you're coming up against in order to be able to win those fights. So there's your rock, paper, scissor match. Now, the way we have this crew set up is a relatively new setup for me. I ran the whole Corsair line, focusing a lot of my effort on Engine Guru 1. I put Marksman 1 on here early on, and I also put on maneuverability, and I'm like, okay, cool, I want to emphasize maneuverability because it has a weakness there. But when I started playing to the strengths, I put more into the Engine Guru. But after we did that F7U video where we called it the Great Debate, it was a really long video if you guys actually sat through and watched it. And it seems like the American multi-role line, especially the cannon fighters, because cannons they need to get into their target, right? Machine guns, you have volume of fire, so it's fine if you miss, but with the cannons, you overheat quickly, and you want those things to make contact. We're going to try to do a bomb run on this guy, but he is way too high for this to work. But it can definitely work, guys, and it feels really gratifying. So, back to what I was saying. We emphasized doing Marksman 2. And just watch this gameplay and see how consistently all four cannons are going to be hitting the target in order to get a serious damage. I mean, that's an IL series ground attacker. I mean, that's the IL-10. Granted, it's a little bit less armor, but we killed an IL-8 earlier. We're going to go after another IL-8. We're able to take out that 265 pretty easily. Actually, I think there was a 329, but either way, like, look at this IL-8. Like, this is a single run pass, head on. We got him down to a quarter of his health. We have a little bit of separation on him, but we're going to get back around and see if we can cause him some more damage here and just wrecking his face, like just completely shredding that ground attacker, that is not something you're probably used to in any other aircraft. In fact, I know in my Mustang, I can only maybe take out 1 or 2 GAs before they shred my aircraft, and I just can't handle it. We're going to spend a lot of our game here fighting outside the capture zones because we're trying to counter these GAs. I have never had as much success doing this as I have since I've changed the setup. It has really just changed the way the aircraft plays and has made it super effective. Now, the other thing I'm using a lot here is what I would call a momentary turn. The momentary turn concept is making a quick 180-degree turn. The game doesn't, oh, this is great. The F7U, I know he's low health, and I have the ability to get all these guns on target. I kill him before he even lands a shot. That's the advantage of Marksman 2. Going back, the sustained turning fight is that circle fight. If you've ever gotten stuck in a fight with an aircraft where the two of you are just constantly turning over and over and over and hoping that you can eventually get on his tail, this aircraft is not really meant to do that unless it's another multi-role that you know you can outmaneuver. But the momentary turn, the ability to kick that nose around real fast, that's where this aircraft can excel. And the momentary turn is when you slam on the brakes and hold down the flaps as you're making a turn, and then you slam on the boost at the last second in order for you to be able to get the rest of the turn through. See, I'm doing it right here, and then boom, look how quick that 180 turn is so I can get back around. And that's how you can get the momentary turn going. Now, if you're going to chase down an aircraft like I am, granted this is an F7F, but that boost kept us keeping on that aircraft. We waited for him to turn, and we took the advantage from him, and he is losing all of his control surfaces. I will see you after the respawn, my friend, and that's what this aircraft is good for. It's also really good at accelerating. The F2G Corsair was an advancement on the F4U1 Corsair, and it was kind of a concept of, hey, what would happen if we were to put a massive engine in it, even bigger than it has now? It's already known for having good engine output. Let's enhance that capability. So by enhancing that capability in this game, it allows you to be able to accelerate a lot quicker, and you can control a lot of the engagement, and you can really get some good speed out of it. And it's surprising how effective it is at being able to chase down, or at least maintain a chase on some heavy aircraft. And the F7U is pretty fast. If you're going to do this right here with the rockets, you pretty much have to launch them all, guys, otherwise you're going to get rammed and die. And suggest, you saw when I fired those, I lifted the reticle up and down and kind of did a sweep of where he was going to be. I already knew he was coming straight at me, but his elevation was under question. So that's how you get those Rocketeer kills out of these guys. Now, we're doing a little bit of the brake turn here in order to get that nose around so I can finish off this kill I worked so hard on earlier. Very effective. Once you get a handle on it, it's really good. Ramming, people shun it as noob tactics, not a great play, but look at that. Look how much hit points he took off with that light fighter. Why was he ramming me? I didn't ram him, he rammed me. It was a game of chicken, and I knew I was going to win. So I stayed my ground. Great match for us. We only came in second. We didn't do great when it came to the rating system because all of our fighting was happening outside the combat zone, but we got a Rocketeer medal, we got Wing Legend, which means we got a token out of this one, and we got 18,000 personal points. Guys, that's great. That's excellent. I consider like 6,000 to 8,000 like an average score for a normal player. That was a fantastic result for us. That's like 3 times what I would normally expect. I am running a premium account, so that's a lot of credits, but even if I wasn't running a premium account, that's 131,000 credits. Tier 8s do make some serious money, and suggest keeping some of these things around, even the Tier 9s. The F94D does really well. The module loadout I have is an exact copy of the F7U. I wanted to see how it worked, and I've been very impressed. We talk about the accuracy, so we're going to put the gun sight on there. We have Marksman 1, we have Marksman 2. All of that's going to give us the most accuracy we can to get those cannons working, and I think it shows for itself how effective that can be. We also got engine tuning on here, and engine tuning gives you the best bang for your buck when it comes to boosting, and combine that with Engine Guru 1 and you're getting a really good ability to accelerate. So you don't need to boost as long in order for you to get the speeds that you're looking for. I use it to augment my speed after I made a hard brake turn, or if I just make a regular turn, you slow down your airspeed because you're sacrificing for momentum for turning. That's math, but that's how it works. So having engine ventilation on here allows me to build that boost back up very quickly. We were never really hurting for boost. You guys watched that battle. We used it when we needed it. We were able to chase down that heavy. It was always available. It was always on demand. And we were getting the speed we needed as soon as we needed it. We hit that boost and we just accelerated. The plane just got fast. There's that 1,600-pound bomb. Yeah, it was 394 feet blast radius, just massive blast radius. The consumables, it's debatable. Manual fire extinguisher or doing the med kit, that's kind of a toss-up. I prefer not to be on fire. I don't like being on fire. Weird, right? So I put on manual fire extinguisher. We mentioned one of the strengths is being able to disengage from a fight, so pneumatic starter helps with that quite a bit. And I have control service trim on here in order to fix like a broken wing, because when you're running away from an enemy and they're chasing you, you do that spin, and it seems silly to do an aileron roll. You're like, what's that even doing? You're still going in a straight line, but you'd be surprised how much it reduces incoming damage, especially against somebody just spamming with machine guns. You saw when I was going up against those bombers early on in the battle, I was doing that spin maneuver. It felt like it was reducing the amount of incoming damage. Now that just might be me thinking that works, but for me, it works. I think it works. So in my head, it's a successful tactic, and I want to be able to do that spin maneuver, because once you lose a control surface, that thing just makes the laggiest roll maneuvers. So I'd rather get that back as soon as possible. You can see I use Marksman 2 on quite a few other airframes, predominantly cannon fighters or heavy fighters, but I also use it on my light fighter over here with the I-220. The I-220 gets 4 cannons mounted in a synchronized, right? So they're in the nose and they're shooting through the propeller. Very accurate. Because of that placement, so they're not going to be spread out like they are in the Corsair. But with that Marksman 2, it's a very high overheat gun, and I know I'm talking about a different aircraft right now, but the damage output, it's able to get that bite in really quick and really cause some heavy damage, and the Corsair is no different in that sense. If you got a cannon fire, you have a burst damage aircraft, so get the most out of it that you can. Get those shells to make contact. I don't know if it's artificially enlarging the hitbox or if it's making the bullets kind of home in on the target or something weird like that, but whatever it's doing, it's working for me. And if you haven't tried it on any of your cannon aircraft, suggest giving it a shot, and I think you'll find that that's kind of the meta. At least it's the meta for me, and it's been working very well, so suggest it. Either way, guys, this is the Corsair, the F2G Super Corsair. I love this thing. I'm probably going to keep it forever. I like the Corsair line. I really enjoyed it. It was one of the first lines that I started going down, and I want a Corsair sitting in my hangar. I've always liked the airframe. I think it looks cool, as goofy as that wing shape is with that kind of V in the middle. I like it, and of course I have a vampire bat on there, Veebat. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, like, favorite, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, and we'll see if we can make these videos better for you in the future. Have a good one.